Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to another episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is Season 7, Episode 6. It's called Adapt or Die. Before we jump into things, please consider leaving a like on the video and please consider subscribing. That helps so much. But what happened last time on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? So last time they jumped to 1973 and they had to kind of adjust to that. Sousa was having a little trouble adjusting. He was getting a little antsy, a little frustrated with whatever was happening, and he let some of that out on Gemma and Deke and stuff, and he's pretty frustrated about that. I imagine he might continue to be frustrated because, he wants it to mean something that he was taken out of the timeline, and if it doesn't mean something, like he had to, he would have died anyway, which I'm not sure if he is fully grasping that, but from his point of view, like he was taken out of his life, he expects it to mean something. But yeah, so they jumped to 1973 and the Chronicoms and Malik were starting Project Insight, which is normally from Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So it's like a series of satellites and stuff that can take out threats to Hydra before they present themselves. And in the movie, they were helicarriers and stuff. In this, they're just satellites. And so the team has to stop that from launching. And the Chromicons screw things up. They jump 3 years into the future where it's already complete and ready to go. And they're like, all right, try and stop us now. And so they're trying to infiltrate this base, and the plan is to flood the base so that this rocket can't launch. But they run into a few complications, one of which being that Mac's parents have been kidnapped and are in this, they're just like in a holding cell or whatever. What I don't understand is, if the Chronicoms have them, why don't they just kill them? Then Mac doesn't exist, crippled a huge part of S.H.I.E.L.D. right there. So the Chronicoms' plan is a little bit confusing because, maybe if the plan is they jump back and just kill S.H.I.E.L.D. people's parents, then yeah, you can try and stop that. But like the Chronicoms already have his parents, so it's like what? Just kill him. Yeah. So they can't flood the base because of that. So instead, they just elect to shoot the rocket down, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But they gave away their position, like where their ship is, which I guess they had the element of surprise in a sense, as like they didn't know exactly where they were because their ship's invisible. Now they can track it, maybe, unless they just go invisible again. I don't know. I don't know why that's specifically such a huge deal, but it is, I guess. What else? Big things that happened. Oh, Nathaniel Malik, is that his name, Nathaniel? He kidnapped Sousa and Daisy because he wants to use Whitehall's theories and try and get inhuman powers from Daisy. That would be kind of insane if he actually gets that done. And then the other big thing that happened is Deke killing Freddy. So he's been kind of haunted throughout the last few episodes over his choice to not kill this kid, because he's been told this guy kills thousands of people, it's your fault, which is not. Killing him would have screwed the timeline, and he knows that, but he still feels guilty. But now, this dude is supposed to have been dead for 6 years. There's no guilt there. He's like, all right, you're supposed to be dead. Bam, kills him, which took me by surprise. I did not expect that to happen, but I'm honestly fine with it. They've killed a lot of people, and in this situation, yeah, morally, it's not the best because he did just murder a guy in cold blood, but like in terms of the timeline, it should be fine, I think. Unless there's some weird other ripples. I mean, the guy had already lived past when he was supposed to. So like theoretically, at least if you go by rules of lots of other time stuff, like time itself almost should have been trying to kill that man, because he isn't supposed to exist past then. And so maybe Deke was time's instrument in that sense, but he killed him, and they're moving on from there. But yeah, episode ended with them shooting down the rocket, and then Nathaniel calling the prison to try and get Daniel Whitehall's notes. So we'll see what happens from here. I'm excited to check it out. Before we jump into it, again, please consider leaving a like on the video, and please consider subscribing. That helps so much. My channel is almost at 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 925, 920 something around there. So that would mean a lot if you subscribed. But yeah, other than that, let's jump into the episode. Here we go. They're still in the 70s, right? What is this? Looks like synapses, maybe?
All life follows these patterns. Eroded coastline.
Yo, what? Are those all Chronicons? Are those... Is it aliens? What? I couldn't... What are those? I mean, Chronicons, I guess, are aliens, but... What's up, players?
Saboteurs.
With all their bombs.
Your friends blew up my rocket on the 4th of July.
You didn't want that thing to reach orbit, General.
Agent, do not fire on that ship until I tell you to. Go downstairs and rip out the mainframe if you have to.
You're too late. Sir, missiles are away.
Dang, they already launched. You're not in charge here, buddy boy. How did that one get out? That one yeeted past those flares? Come on now. There was a ton of flares. You're still like unconscious.
And that's unfair and very well timed. Wow, right as I'm walking in. Hi, Nathaniel.
The two of you took me hostage, changed my life.
Take a look at Ron's suit.
Yeah, man.
Guy's here because he's got mouths to feed, not because he worships a space octopus.
I want to know what your thing is, kid.
You haven't even seen the half of that.
A cool thing to say, by the way. Your whole vibe is just great.
He's very
That's why you took us
aware,
hostage to find out
like
hostage.
referential, like self-referential.
I get what I want, when in fact everything I want is right.
It's very self-referential,
flowing through the orbit.
like how aware
This
of
isn't
the
super
things they're
serum,
saying
it's
and stuff
genetics.
is.
Yeah, but I'm rich. Yeah.
Nah, fam, that ain't her.
Insight was my first post out of the academy. Enjoy your time in prison.
Easy, contract. Try to hold ourselves to a professional.
Sorry, sir.
We're handling
Who you is?
Let us help.
Something wrong with that agent.
I know.
Oh,
I
she
think
touched
someone
her.
Stoner would be a little more fun.
No,
She touched her and didn't feel anything.
I felt nothing. Like you.
She's a robot.
She's a chronicle.
She's just better at acting.
Should I know how to fix this? Why can't I remember how to fix it?
Don't worry, Jenna Simmons. It will be all right. But we must act now.
Yeah, what the frick is up with her?
It's gonna be okay.
What now?
Sup, Dad?
It's okay.
How you doing?
We're here to get you out.
Hey, whoa. Hey, what are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. Ma'am. Just got carried away.
Who are you?
This is
Suhiho?
Agent Rodriguez. She's my girlfriend.
Oh, I don't think we strangers care about that director, Macklemore. You can call me Lenny, and please excuse my partner. He's just happy that
We'll remove your face ASAP, sir.
Don't get wise, Agent King.
I'm telling you, she is a Chronicon. She had the same horde of emotions.
Come
that I
on,
did.
lady.
She showed emotion. I may not be what I used to be, but I'm not one of them. And I don't appreciate this attitude from you.
I don't have attitude.
That's my point.
Not having attitude is my attitude?
Yes. I don't know what's going on inside you, but you're smart. I died, and I came back. I didn't ask for that, but here we are. And okay, you don't feel, but you want to tell me what you think.
You want to know what I think?
Yeah.
You never die. You always come back.
Yep.
You know how many times I've warned you? I'm not doing it again. And I'm certainly not doing it for a decoy with a simulated personality.
Thank you. There she is.
She got a little angry there.
But your emotions are coming back. What if they have a method of taking our memories, our identities, and uploading them into Chronicon bodies?
Ooh.
Place the agents, use them to take over.
Maybe they did that with Mac's parents too.
Whatever gets us up and running.
He was walking weird earlier. He looked maybe like a Chronicon.
Never give you back to a door.
Ooh. God dang. You're dead, son. Get cooked. Is it safe just to straight unplug that?
I believe you.
What did you do?
Took as much blood and spinal fluid as I thought she could handle, a couple glands. Now I gotta synthesize it all and transfuse it to me. I know. It's risky. But,
You wanted to hear my story, right? Right, well, it was,
Seuss is the best.
we are going home. And at some point I was in a field stretcher and, Mike wasn't. We were going home, Agent Johnson. You hear me?
Seuss sacrifices himself for Daisy. I'm gonna be so bummed. Oh. God dang, Daisy.
Plenty of fight left in you after all.
Holy crap. That's insane. Ooh. What is that? Deke, don't do that. God dang it, Deke. He's fixing her.
Enoch's a traitor. Are you okay?
Deke. What have you done?
Deke's screwing things up. I mean, granted, he thought his grandmother was being attacked by Enoch, but still.
Bad time.
That weird little smirk makes me think she expected that.
Keep pushing, Heidi.
Ooh.
Here, take this. Yeah. Stay here, keep working the door.
Where are you going?
He's
Make sure
gonna
they don't come
use
over me.
his massive arms to beat some stuff.
But you seem to answer anything I ask.
I see no reason not to.
Then this should be interesting.
Enoch had you. I want answers. Real ones.
He was fixing my memory so we can fix the ship. He is completely exposed and they will kill him if they find him so no one can know his location.
But you know.
Yes.
So her memory had to be erased.
Implant to suppress my memories on Agent Diana. She's adorable and inseparable. Actually.
No?
Yes. Susie boy. Straight murk that man.
Is it you?
No, it's Nate. Oof.
My bones are cracking.
Where's Daisy?
Abducted.
That's not
by
good.
Nathaniel Malik.
The difference is sacrifice. Yeah, time is limited. Which means sacrifice comes at a real cost.
Sousa,
Human stuff.
you make
And
it
we
out
will
of there.
Never give up.
You said I was wrong about 3 things. What's the third?
Me. The fact is,
She's experienced it a few times.
dying, it's kind of my superpower.
Oh, oh, he's got all the. He's got
Yeah,
all the
we're out
the
there.
bag of all the
Found the ship.
C4.
I just hope you're right about this next part.
Yikeroonies, pal. What are you doing? Who's that? That's a bad guy. What? That was a very anticlimactic, like death of Coulson.
How bad your arm? Nothing getting home won't fix.
Yeah, what?
Thank you for believing us.
Thank you for saving my
Something's up with that dude and his arm.
coverage.
I don't know what it is, but they drew attention to it twice.
Agent.
She's gonna touch one of those two and not feel anything.
He's gone.
Something, I don't know why, but something tells me that one of Mac's parents or both of them are not Mac's parents.
Yeah, Enoch, I'm sorry about before. I didn't realize that things were so dire. And you are a valued member of our family.
That is the greatest compliment one could be paid.
Wow.
Apology accepted.
I love how, like, grandmotherly she was there. And what do we say?
Anyone said this yet, but thank you
He's a
for
robot.
saving us.
He's a robot.
You're welcome.
She touched him. He's a robot. I knew it. I knew it. May? Yep. You gonna say step back?
I can't take them to the Zephyr. I felt nothing from him. Like Coulson.
I knew it. I'm so freaking smart.
I know what you're feeling, and I'm sorry.
You mind if I take a look, Joe?
What? Oh, no. It's fine.
Why aren't we going home?
It's okay. I won't be there soon.
Let's show
Is she a robot too, or is it just him?
It's just a scratch, right?
Oh yeah, she's a robot too. They took both his parents. Gosh dang it.
They've been gone a while. I harvested their skins. We could have so much fun together, son.
Oh, don't make Mac kill his mom. Please. I know it's a robot, but still, that's like pretty much him killing his mom. His mom didn't call him Mac. Yeah. God dang it. I knew it. It makes me so mad. You would think Coulson blowing himself up would be the sad part of this episode, but no.
Last chance of you.
I'm where I need to be.
Yeah, he found a reason to keep going, protecting Daisy, kind of repaying the kindness that he's been shown. Yeah, he just had to murder his parents. He deserves some air.
Steve, where are you? No, where are you? The Zephyr's leaving. Both of you get back now. Deteriorating. About to jump.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
Mac!
That's
Mac,
very
Mac!
bad.
Mac, we gotta go! C1's in trouble!
No! Frick. Dude. God dang. Alright, well, Deke and Mac adventure coming up, I guess. Okay, so that was a surprisingly, like, deep episode. They've had, up until this point, each of the episodes, like, they've had significance and, like, depth to the conflict. But I feel like this is one of the ones that kind of touched on the more emotional side of things that I feel like we haven't had up until this episode, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, so it starts out with them kind of being interrogated a little bit, with the Chronicoms taking over the missile launching system, and they don't shoot down the Zephyr, but they shoot the Zephyr and damage it enough to where it has to be repaired. Meanwhile, Coulson and May are just trying to tell them, like, yo, stuff's going down. Like, we need to fix this crap. What else? Oh, yeah. And so, like, Coulson and May, they're in the base, and like, their plan is to... Frick. What am I saying? Coulson, May, Mac, and Yo-Yo are all in the base. They're trying to defeat Chronicoms, rescue Mac's parents, things like that. And I called it from, like, I don't know, I don't remember if I said it last episode, but I was like, maybe those aren't his parents. And then early on in this episode, I was like, straight up, those are not his parents. Something else is going down. As soon as they, like, introduced the face stealing stuff, I was like, this ain't it, Chief. That's not his parents. And then it turns out I was freaking right. Ugh. Freaking A. So, but they rescue them, and they're getting off, and that's kind of where Mac and Yo-Yo and May and Coulson separate. May and Coulson are being interrogated, and they're pretty confused about stuff. Like, they're like, I don't know what's going down, but May's like, I didn't feel anything from that girl. I think they might have taken a few agents already. And so they go, and they're like, yo, my dude, they're stealing people. And he gets led down, and he's about to be stolen, about to have his face stolen. But May and Coulson, they take him out. They're good to go. And then Coulson goes down and talks to the Predictor. And they have a really, like, intellectual and thought-provoking conversation about, like, what is Coulson? Like physically, like, what is he? Is he a human? Is he a robot? Like, they didn't dive super deep into it, like, similar to, like, the show Westworld, where they're, like, thinking, like, all right, if this is a robot, but it has its own thoughts and feelings and stuff, like, is it sentient? Like, can it make its own decisions? I believe Coulson could, but, you know, again, it's also just like things that are programmed into him, like the behaviors and thoughts that normal Coulson would have is in his metallic brain. So like, is that actually him making those decisions, or is that just like what the program in his head is telling him to do? And they didn't get super into it, but like he kind of made the decision, you know, if I'm Coulson and doing the things that Coulson would do, you know, dying is just, it's another Tuesday for Coulson. So he's like, if I have to take out this ship, I'm gonna do that. And I don't think he destroyed the Chronicom ship. I think he just took out a bunch of hunters, and maybe crippled, maybe not crippled, but destroyed at least some of their ability to be as effective going forward. So who knows about that? But yeah, like you would think that Coulson sacrificing himself would be the most emotional part of the episode, but it wasn't. Partly because, I mean, I think they shot it and edited it in a way where it almost wasn't supposed to be emotional, because, you know, we as the audience have seen Coulson die multiple times. Like, real Coulson is dead, and this is kind of just robot Coulson. Like, we're not technically, I don't know if we're supposed to have the same connection to him, and so they move on to it from it pretty quickly. And like even May says, like, he's died a lot. I'm not gonna mourn for someone I've already mourned for multiple times, like, especially if I know he's coming back. Will he come back? Who knows? Maybe Gemma could make a new one. I don't know where she got the Chronicom technology before. Like, did she make Coulson in the future, and then bring him back with her when they rescued them from the temple? Or did she just like have the stuff on the Zephyr needed to make him? Something tells me she made him in the far future. But yeah. What else? So yeah. The ship gets shot. Flares take out most of the missiles except for one. Damages like the shielding and the wires that connect the time stream machine to the Zephyr's like shielding system, I guess. So if it jumps with that damaged, it'll only take the parts that are protected, and the rest of the ship will like be destroyed. And even then, when it jumps, like the future part of that ship would still be like sans half a ship, and it would probably crash and burn anyway. So they have to fix that. But Gemma doesn't remember how to do it. Like, she's got this implant in her brain that is manipulating memories. So it's kind of turning off certain memories and making other ones available. And over the past episode or two, that implant in her head called Diana has been on the fritz a bit, and it's turning off the wrong memories and turning back on some of the other ones. So like, it turned off her knowing what Nana meant previously, so she looked a little confused when Deke was addressing her. It turned off knowing how to fix the Zephyr, and so she's like, yo, Enoch, if this thing turns back on the memory of where Fitz is, like, bad juju can happen. Like, if I get captured and they know what's going on, I can't do this. But theoretically, if they capture her anyway, like, they should be able to manipulate that little thing in her head to tell them what they need to know. So I don't know about that. And Deke attacks Enoch, and he's like, knocked him unconscious, and she's like, you idiot, I need this. And then but they fix the ship, and then Deke's apologizing to Enoch, and he's like, I'm sorry for attacking you. I didn't realize what was going on. And then Gemma's like, and like, very motherly, grandmotherly, like, what do we say when we're sorry? I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? It's like, and what happens now? He's like, and you are a valued member of our family. And I thought that was really cute because then it kind of, you know, Gemma and Fitz and Deke are like a family, literally, but also like kind of weirdly figuratively because they're not all the correct ages they're supposed to be. And then them also being like, yo, Enoch, you're part of our family. Like, I mean, all the members of Shield are a family, but like I feel like there's another subset then that is Gemma, Fitz, Deacon, now Enoch, being like, you're a valued member of our family. And I like that. And it's nice because Enoch has kind of been shunted off to the side in previous episodes. So to have someone be like, you're a valued member of this family, he was like, that is the greatest compliment I could receive. Apology accepted. And that was really nice. And then, okay, yeah. Big things. Sousa and Daisy, they've been captured by Nathaniel Whitehall. So they're just kind of like chilling in a rough spot, and this man's like, yo, Hydra sucks. I don't care about Hydra. I just want your powers. That seems dope to me. And and she's like, no, like you can't have it. He takes her and he takes some of her DNA, like spinal fluid, blood, probably like hair, and he's synthesizing it and transfusing it into himself. And it said he had a 22% chance of actually taking her power. My guess is that he successfully did it because it didn't show him die in this episode. It showed some stuff collapse on him, and he was saying stuff like, my bones are cracking. My guess is that he didn't actually die. He just kind of was like knocked out and something along those lines. But I liked Sousa kind of comforting Daisy. He taking his experience directly from being in war and having like traumatic injuries happen to you, and having a fellow soldier just continue to talk to you, like, because she might have like passed out, she might have died, who knows. She didn't have 100% chance of surviving that. Like the robot lady said, only an 86% chance. So like there's a decent chance, like 14% chance, not a whole lot, but it can happen, where she might have died. And Sousa kind of being there to comfort her and just like continue to talk through what's happening was really nice. I couldn't tell necessarily if he was trying to say that Mike guy died. I mean, he got him back to the front line or wherever they were, and got him on the stretcher, and then, but he was like, and then Mike wasn't there. Like, did Mike die, or did he just like successfully get you there and then move on? Who knows? But that was nice that he was there to help her through that and kind of get her back. This is the second time that that Daisy has had. I mean, her mother had it happen to her where she was experimenting on, but this is the second time that Daisy has kind of had a member of Hydra or Hydra akin kind of restrain her and experiment on her. Previously, she had Fitz in his mentally broken state, where he kind of flipped into Leopold without realizing it. She had him not experiment on her, but kind of hold her down and forcefully do surgery on her. And so this is the second time she's had to deal with that. Probably not a big fan. But then, yeah, oh my gosh. Moving on to the real emotional kicker in this episode. Mac and his parents. So they rescue Mac's parents, and kind of throughout the episode they're they're having these little moments here and there that are like slightly touching, and you're like, oh, he's kind of getting to bond with his parents a little bit. This is kind of nice. And then I can't recall exactly which moment I knew or suspected something was wrong, but I don't know, like I don't know if it happened before the arm thing, but I definitely noticed it in the arm thing where he had his arm up the hydraulics thing, he's doing stuff, and then he got hurt. I was like, that was a little sus right there. And then they, a little bit later on, they drew attention to it. They were like, some arm. I was like, okay, in a show that needs so much time dedicated to certain things, like they don't take moments to address things that aren't necessary, let alone do it twice. So I was like, oh frick. Like as soon as I saw it happen again, I was like, dang it. Like there's something going on with his arm. This means bad stuff. And like they're going through, and then they made a point throughout the episode and last episode where May's touching people, and whether she feels things or not, they've been taken. She's feeling shield agents, and they've been taken. And I was like, I was waiting for the moment where he touches her, and then he on the plane touches her shoulder, and she doesn't feel anything, and is like, God dang it, Mac. Oh man, that sucks. And then she's like, yo, your dad's a Chronicom. You're gonna want to check this out. And right away, Mac, you can see his facial expression change. He's like, no, these are my parents. Come on, you cannot tell me that the people that I grew up with and knew were Chronicoms. And I'm guessing the way they're going about this is not in terms of time travel. I think it's very confusing how they're doing it. If they're doing it, akin to Avengers Endgame, where like the actions they take and change are just creating separate timelines. I think that's the only way they could do it with like the way they kept Malik alive and stuff, because they haven't really dealt with the changes that have happened. And like if those changes were allowed to continue and maintain, like the whole world changes and is like completely effed. And even like Mac, like he grew up knowing his parents, so them being killed here would theoretically like drastically alter his life, and he probably wouldn't join SHIELD. So I'm guessing like the actions they're taking are just creating branch timelines. And the robot lady kind of talked about she's from a place where they've seen what happens and what could have happened, which kind of suggests branching timelines. And so I'm guessing that's how they're dealing with it. But he's got to talk to his dad and be like, yo, let me see that arm. And I think both parties, as they continue that conversation, are kind of slowly boiling up to the point of like just being real with each other, of his dad being like, yo, I'm a robot, and Mac being like, I know you're a robot. Like the more he was like, it's just a scratch, I can't show you that, Mac was like, frick, my dad's a robot. And the robot was like, all right, well, time to fight. The one thing I didn't know is if the mom was a robot too. It would have been interesting if like she would have been like mind blown and shocked, like, oh my god, my husband's a robot. But no, both of them were robots, and they killed Mac's parents a while ago. So it's like, freaking balls. Like, also, how old is Mac? Like, are they in 2020, I guess? I mean, they're jumping back, but like, is the time frame that they would be in 2020, so that makes Mac minimum 44 years old. And he's like probably old enough to talk. So I'd say he's 5, maybe 6 years old. Like, I mean, I know you can talk before that, but I don't know. So is Mac 50 in the show? Like, how old is Yo-Yo? She's like what? I would guess in the show she's like mid to late 30s. I always thought Mac was kind of like a similar age as like a character. Maybe he was like a little older in his early to mid 40s. But I guess he is just like straight like 50 plus years old. The actor, I guess, is 50. Like he had his birthday the other day and he's apparently 50 years old, which blows my mind. That man looks like he's like 39. Which it's crazy. But yeah, they have to fight his parents and kill his parents, throw him off the plane, which sucks butthole for him. Like that's rough. And then, you know, they jump to somewhere, presumably, I mean, they've been going, what, like, other than this little 3-year jump, they've been going in like 10, 15-year increments, maybe. I mean, well, the first time it was actually like 20 years. But the past 1 or 2 have been like 15-year increments, so I'm guessing they jumped late 80s, possibly. But yeah, they jump and Mac's like, yo, I gotta get some air. I thought he was gonna leave way farther, but he was just right outside the ship. And Deke's like, I'm gonna go talk to him. I know what it's like to not necessarily murder your parents. I mean, maybe. No, Deke didn't have to murder his parents, but he knows what it's like to have his parents die/be dead and kind of like learn the news of someone else killing your father. Like one of the people from the lighthouse killed his dad. And so like Deke has experience of losing parents and knowing what that's like. So he's like, I'm gonna go talk to him. And they're out there and the ship is on the fritz or something's happening and they're jumping again. So presumably Mac and Deke are like in the 80s somewhere and this ship is going to jump to like the 90s. So they're going to be like 10 years even farther, which is kind of insane. So like the ship jumps again. Now Mac and Deke are just left there. And it looked like Mac didn't even care. He's like, screw this. Like he's just depressed, which makes sense. He like, for all he knows in this situation, he kind of just murdered his parents. Like he knows that they weren't his parents, but like I think his parents were alive, like his actual parents, like because he mentioned a line earlier where he was like, this isn't how I imagined you meeting my parents. So he planned on Yo-Yo meeting his real parents at some point, and now he just kind of intellectually knows that like he didn't actually kill his parents. Someone else killed his parents and he killed them. But he's kind of like he's kind of hit with the fact that one, his parents are dead, at least in this timeline. Like his parents have been killed previously by robots. Like that's one facet, is like already like a heavy thing to be hit with. Two, the people that have been living with you for however long were not your parents, and they were robots pretending to be your parents. So like, are those interactions real or genuine? Like, at what point were they gone? How did you not notice? Like, kind of probably some self-blame on himself for that. But like, again, branching timelines, like, is it actually him? Like, his parents presumably are real, that he remembers. And then third facet is like, not only are they dead, but then he had to kill the robots that look exactly like them. So it's like almost like him having to murder his parents. So like he's in the last hour, 2 hours, he's probably hit with this massive like just wave of depression and guilt and like sorrow and mourning. And it's like, oh, Mackenzie, Alfonso Mackenzie, you sad boy, I am so sorry. But gosh dang, I don't know. I assume next episode has got to be just a Deke and Max solo thing, because they wouldn't just follow the rest of the crew past that and just like not talk about what happens with these two characters. So I'm guessing next episode is just Deke and Mac and like whatever's going on in their life, and then probably end of the episode we'll have the team pick them up somehow. But frick, I don't know, man. This was a weirdly emotional episode, and for reasons that you wouldn't expect given the events that happened. But like it definitely felt like this was a more serious episode. Like, not that the previous episodes haven't been serious, they've had serious elements, but this one as a whole, it felt like the seriousness of it was of a greater depth, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think those are all my thoughts. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments. Please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.